All right, my Sagittarius friends, how are you today? Michael Eschenburg here, Honest Name, bringing you some honest astrology, your monthly horoscope for April of 2020. Now, if you're new to the channel, check it out. We've got daily horoscopes, now daily meditations every single day that dive deeper into these aspects, and a little bit of calming Om Zen to help us out during these times right now. So either way, this is your monthly horoscope. For April, I gotta be honest, it's not as intense of a month as the past 3 months, which is really good. Things kind of, the water starts to calm down right now. I don't know about the rest of the world, but astrologically, I mean, this is a reflection. Everything's calming down a little bit. We got forward momentum, we got ground under our feet, traction, moving forward. All right, right off the gate here, on the 3rd, okay, Mercury here in your 4th house, home life, family life, right? Just home in general, you got this conjunct with Neptune, okay? What you speak, what you dream of comes into an alignment, all right? Maybe you're getting creative and crafty around the house, which is what I strongly recommend during this time of quarantine, getting crafty around the house, right? Putting our time to good use, which is an awesome thing for you, this being in the 4th house. As well, Venus is going to leave her home sign of Taurus and enter your 7th house of Gemini. All right, so this is really powerful. Venus in the 7th house. Okay, this is about love, what you want, desire, who you love, who you want, who you desire. Really powerful transit going on for you right now. That's going to bring some love into your life, or going to allow you to see the other person that you do love, why you do love them, which is powerful because you're getting it just to foreshadow slightly into May. Venus will be retrograding in the sign of Gemini in May, okay, which is your 7th house. So love, partnerships, and relationships right now, take the time and cultivate. Take the time and communicate with your partners, okay? Or if you're just starting to enter a relationship, it's like being open and honest, that authenticity, that North Node down in Cancer, of your intentions, of why you're in this relationship, okay? Because during the retrograde that's going to happen in May, things get really shaky, and it being your 7th house, it's really questioning, why do I love this individual? There's always interesting times. Divorce rate, breakups go through the roof during the Venus retrogrades, right? So just throwing that out there, that during this time, as Venus enters into Gemini this month, because it will not retrograde until May, so all this month you have very favorable aspects in those partnerships, in those relationships. I'm not saying if you're married or in a long-term relationship you're going to get divorced in May or anything like that. Just simply throwing it out there, like there's a lot of interesting energy that comes up during those Venus retrogrades. So take this time right now to really communicate your love for those individuals that you do love, okay? Back to the chart here. So on the 4th, Jupiter and Pluto are exact. This is in your money house right now, okay? Your 2nd house of finances, income, material possessions, and goods. Okay, Jupiter's saying more money, more material possessions, more goods. Pluto's saying death, shadow work. What if you never had this again? What if you never had toilet paper again? The great toilet paper frenzy of 2020, not necessarily that, but it's definitely looking at your finances right now, and what started off as a very favorable year, and 2019 being extremely favorable, 2020 is very interesting for finances this year, and this connection will happen 3 times. So this is the first of 3 connections that's going on, and it will be exact on the 4th. So we're dealing with our own shadow, okay? Scarcity, abundance, having so much, having very little, and what that teaches us in our lives to be abundant and to have scarcity at the same time. Okay, now you've got Saturn here, unless you're literally a 0 degrees Sagittarius. Okay, Saturn's only going to get to 2 degrees, just about 2 degrees, before it retrogrades back into Capricorn. Okay, so this is also going to be most likely in your 2nd house, not your 3rd house, where Mars, however, will move through your 3rd house. This is about information. Mars saying we need to learn, we need to absorb, we need to look at both sides of the coin. Where have I been right? Where have I been wrong? Where has the other person potentially been right when I thought they were wrong? Where have they been wrong when I thought you know what I mean? Like, we have to look at all of it, you know, and that's Gemini's job here, is to look at all the possibilities, all the probabilities. Okay, and Mars is our planet of action, saying move forward with this. As well, this is a great month to connect with your siblings. Okay, maybe this is a time where, you know, it's like it doesn't matter. We're brothers and sisters, we fight, you know, but we're dealing with so much worldly right now. It's like those things don't matter. I care about you as an individual, so let's just chit chat for a minute, right? And you do have this, you know, home and family connection going on here for the first couple days until the 12th, all right, when Mercury finally enters the sign of Aries. Okay, so it's going to start getting into your 5th house. We'll talk about that. So now Saturn is going to move forward this month as well, but this is most likely going to be, unless you're 0 degrees or a 1 degree, either way, it's teeter-tottering right there between your 2nd and 3rd house. Okay, so Saturn as well is adding to this sense of scarcity. You know, where there is abundance, there is scarcity, and with law and order and karmic, you know, we want to make things very real. And you got to put in the work in order to get it out as well. Okay, so it's an interesting month for finances. Not saying you're going to go broke, not saying you're going to go rich, but it's just having us in this part of the chart examine our luxuries and our leisures to our necessities. Okay, so now Mercury. Oh, I jumped ahead here. On the 7th, we're going to have a full moon in Libra. Okay, so the sun is here in your 5th house. This is your creative self-expression. This is you, who you are, the way you walk, the way you talk, how you communicate. Okay, your flair, your intensity, your power, your strength. 5th house, creative energy. Okay, and now across the way here, you've got Libra. Okay. This is your 11th house of community, social. So the sun's going to be, or the moon's going to be here in Libra in your 11th house. Okay. So this opposition, sun here, how am I giving back to the community? What am I doing? How am I adding the flair back to people? Because it's what's needed over here is to be a part of that community. It's to be a part of the social aspects of life. And are we using technology, you know, Mars and Saturn and Aquarius, are we using technology to make sure that we are staying in contact with people? Are we using this technology to forge ahead and to be a part of these community groups because we don't want to, you know, be alone during these times? Most certainly, right? So it's a very powerful full moon for you. One of the brightest full moons of the year, if not the brightest full moon of the year, happens at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 7th. Now on the 12th, Mercury leaves Pisces, where it's been since February 4th. Okay, Mercury finally leaves Pisces, enters Aries, and rips through it. Again, this is your 5th house. This is your creative self-expression, how you're communicating with other people. Okay, so on one side, you know, Mars is slowly moving through, and it wants you to examine your mental thought process. It wants you to examine how you use your words. Well, Mercury is entering a fire sign of Aries, where it's very fast, and it's going to enter on the 12th, and it's going to exit on the 27th of April. That's how fast Mercury is moving right now. Okay, so it's just like, I'm done going slow. I'm done with the water sign of Pisces. I'm done. I need to go. I need to move, right? So this on a positive side, there's always both sides of the coin. On the positive side, you know, new ground, fire energy. There's a bit more energy in general. There's more defined clarity. On the negative side of things, this can be very fast reacting, sharp with the tongue, It is your fifth house. It can be a little bit about ego, ego-driven communication. And as a Sagittarius, sometimes the Sagittarius likes to exaggerate, and present words on a plate. Okay, and that's not saying everybody, but that's in general. That's your ruling planet is Jupiter, the King Jupiter, and more. And look at how lavish my land is, and look how lavish my lamp is. It's like, yeah, it's a lamp, right, to somebody else. So Mercury moving into the fifth house for you in Aries, it's like putting that kind of recognizing it. All right, recognizing it. And again, what does the king need? What does the queen need in her throne room? Okay, that's being identified over there in your second house of income and material possessions and goods. All right, so this is balancing this month of April. A lot of balancing going on. So again, Mercury's gonna be moving very fast out on the 27th, but before that, the sun's gonna move into Taurus on the 19th. New moon right about here on the 22nd. Okay, new moon in your sixth house. Probably will still be in your fifth house. Okay, again, depending on where you're at as a Sagittarian. Okay, so right here, bordering your fifth and sixth house, again, of ego, of self-expression, of communication, new beginnings. You have an opportunity to turn things around. Okay, and this is the stable earth sign of Taurus, where the moon is exalted. Okay, and the sun wants stability, most certainly. And then on the 26th here, you got the sun meeting up with Uranus, conjunct Uranus. Okay, which the sun conjunct Uranus is always that expect the unexpected. It's always, we don't know. And especially in the place of where we want stability and solid ground. If all of a sudden my wall caved in over here, it's like, well, got to deal with that. It's like we can't really expect that to happen, but if it does, we got to deal with it. So this is balance between your self-expression, your ego, and your work, right? And it's going to be in your work sector now for the next several years. Breakthroughs in the way that you work, breakthroughs in the way that you are being of service to community, being of service to humanity, right? And finding a stable foundation in being of service to other people. Okay. Then, lastly, on the 25th, okay, on the 25th, Pluto will start its retrograde. It stations retrograde on the 25th, 26th, and then on the 27th, it stations it begins its retrograde. So it's stationed for 2 days, meaning it just kind of stopped on the 25th and 26th. Then on the 27th, we start to see Pluto move backward. Right, so it begins its retrograde for the next 6 months, and that will be happening again in your second house of income, of material possessions and goods. Going over the shadow. This is a lot of forward momentum this month. Okay, Pluto is the first of our outer planets to retrograde this year. And depending on how we feel that, how sensitive we are, and what else is the rest of our chart, is very individualized. If you ever want a reading, please, by all means, reach out to me anytime. I'll be happy to do a reading to talk about where all this is lining up in your chart. But there's a lot of forward momentum. There's a lot of self-examination happening this month. Okay, and there's a lot in preparation on the side of partnerships and love, romantic, family stuff that's coming your way. That's going to, the ground you set now, will be tested in May, So there's a lot of growth this month. There's no question about that. There's a lot of growth for all of us. And with how everything's lining up in your chart, there's a lot of beautiful self-growth and blossoming this spring for you, right? So my Sagittarius friends, thank you as always for hanging out. Appreciate you. Check it out on the dailies. Now, like I said, I'm doing these daily meditation videos as well, just to try to add a little bit of peace and harmony back into it. So if you're ever getting stressed out, by all means, come check out the daily videos. All right, we have a lot of fun, and we'll see you tomorrow.